Writing for the consumer. Overview of concepts. In my time studying business, I quickly realized that sales personnel and even managers can sometimes not write effectively. My research project strives to connect the concepts and applications of marketing and composition, not only in real-world settings, but actual registered businesses. According to the American Marketing Association, or AMA for short, marketing most closely refers to, and I quote, the activity, set of institutions, and processes for creating, communicating, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. In other words, marketing can constitute almost any internal or external use of a firm's resources. For the sake of my marketing research and this presentation, composition can describe any textual interaction, most importantly, employee-consumer interactions. Author refers to, obviously, the composer or the writer of said piece. So any textual interaction will have an author. Compositional target, another concept that needs to be discussed, is exactly what it sounds like, the target of a piece of composition. Research and applying concepts. In order to understand marketing-based compositions, one must review examples of professional business facilitations. This could include anything from advertisements to written correspondences between consumer and firm, or honestly, any author and consumer-based correspondence. My goal in reviewing samples from these businesses was to analyze the strengths, weaknesses, and intent of overall authorship. Authorship is most closely the sense that someone writes with, how well they write, are they communicating, are they targeting their audience, what flow are they using, what prose do they have to offer, and most importantly, how informative is the piece itself. After reviewing examples of social media-based ads, among these are notably YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter platforms, I soon realized that there is more of an emphasis on fleeting visual imagery than purposeful communication skills, or better yet, purposeful composition skills. It became apparent that most ads lack a strong sense of authorship. As a result, businesses with low compositional standards often can have low advertisement standards, meaning that they're just throwing away dollars without honestly any standard of composition or compositional makeup. Businesses with high compositional standards demonstrate how authorship, good communication skills, and understanding the written needs of consumers can be monetized. How can we make money off writing? That's what all of this research has been about. It's about understanding not only how to best serve the consumer, but how to best serve your business. While meeting bottom lines such as quarterly quotas is important, so is improving consumer-employee interactions in regard to advertising and general correspondences, whether it be return policy, whether it be customer support, whatever interaction is taking place. Understanding how different businesses best serve their compositional targets is crucial in utilizing textual interactions to improve the customer experience. So we're looking at all the elements of the customer experience and how textual interaction affects these elements. I also monitored a business affiliate's compositional practices as it relates to his firm's marketing strategies. I'm kind of limited on the data analysis part of this presentation, as I did have to sign a non-disclosure form. However, I want to go ahead and hit the high points. So this brings us to the analysis section. After completing a fourth of my observational period, I chose a source by Alan J. Kimmel to understand and embody the industry sciences of buzz marketing. Buzz marketing is a term that basically translates to interacting with a compositional target, no matter the cost or standard of composition. I quickly noted that my affiliate and his marketing team had practices that relied heavily on buzz marketing. They were attacking anyone's social media feed they could pay for, and a lot of times this just results in throwing needless dollars away at an advertising budget for someone to simply pay for sponsored ads. Without strategic and effective direction, sponsored ads have no use. They are just flutter among the crowded space that is social media websites. The compositional advertising through sponsored ads was not strategic enough and honestly seemed to bombard viewers with wordy text. This strategy, or rather lack thereof, resulted in low click-through rates and amounts of page visits. These are two of the most important things in any sort of online marketing firm or consultation business, anything done through an online medium. The firm specialized in brokering the sale of privatized energy and only received about 100 page visits a day, not many by industry standards. This brings us to the recommendation section. Due to non-disclosure forms, I am indeed limited to the sales data that I can detail. However, after implementing composition classes to the firm's code of ethics training, the firm began to evolve their strategies in both marketing and overall brand presence. This includes brand identity and what they're associated to. Over the fiscal quarter, they began to be more associated with a transparent brand that best served the consumer, and especially in the industry they're in, which is the energy service provider industry. It's absolutely crucial to be trustworthy. Like, nobody's going to buy power from somebody, or energy for that matter, that they don't trust, unless you're living in Alabama and you have to buy it from Alabama Power or a federal bureau. So, where was I when I got off to that rant? So what did they do exactly? How did they fix the rut that they were in? Well, they started utilizing demographic marketing tools to better target consumers, and they used brief but informative, cannot stress this enough, but informative captions when posting. So anytime they were posting advertisements from this point forward, they made sure that the composition did not depend on the image. Rather, the image would depend on the composition. Now, this is how you lead advertisement. Fleeting visual imagery is a tool, yes, but it cannot by any means carry the entire ad. You lose much effectiveness, you lose personal connections with the consumer, and you lose business retention, customer retention rather. These is really the most important aspect of running a business. If you can't get people to come back, your business fails. So, the recommendation of company-provided compositional aid ultimately boosted daily page visits and click-through rates. Page visits increased 25% within a 10-day period, which is actually quite high even for that industry. I think it's necessary to say here the industry standard for click-through rates or page visits a day varies, but most energy providers that are dealing with privatized energy have about 300 page visits a day. Whether these are people that actually buy the service or not, they are considered potential customers. So consumers who patroned the company were interviewed and noted the value they felt being targeted by well-written, engaging, and informative posts that were seemingly transparent and relatable. So by being honest with the customer, by not just ranting on about how much you can save the customer or different types of services and deals, you get to the real meat of the issue. And what the issue was is that in states that are just now starting to sell privatized energy, you have to let the consumer know this. You have to let the consumer honestly know that they're being price gouged through federal bureaus, not using this as a specific example, rather as a reference, like Alabama Power. This firm saw firsthand how writing for the consumer is different than just unstrategic advertising. This is different than just throwing advertising dollars into a vacuum and hoping for results to come back at you like a boomerang. Now, this is giving your boomerang purpose. You still depend on the same structure, rather different elements are emphasized and you want to make sure that you utilize the right tools. Can be demographic programs. Instagram actually does a very good job of helping people meet their demographic needs. But in order for this to work, it has to have some sort of skeletal outline. It's got to have structure. It's got to have a strategy that makes sense not only for what the consumers need, but for what your business needs.